Women do not like men. And the reason that most women don't like men is because these men try to hold them accountable and don't let them play the victim. You have to understand that a lot of women will intentionally date piece of shit men just so they don't have to have accountability in their behavior in the relationship because it takes two to tango. And then these women come across my page and assume that because of what I talk about, I'm against them. But the reality is that everybody is sick of the excuses for your poor behavior. No one is trying to invalidate your experience. We're just trying to tell you that you played a part in the downfall of how your life is and the things that you've gone through. Additionally, women only like men for what they can provide for them. So as soon as the money runs out or whatever it is that they're looking for, that's why they have the backup plans or the rosters or whatever it is. You have to understand, if you learn anything from my platform, is that women do not hang around people that do not validate them. This goes for friendships and romantic relationships. And they don't even realize that it's happening 9 times out of 10. Because the only reason that women stay friends with women is, one, if they don't like the same man. Like, as soon as 2 girls like the same boy, that's the end of the friendship. Or the other scenario is like, if one girl is a hoe and is out here having a roster and the other friend's like, nah, I'm just going to hang out with my boyfriend, or I'm going to be single and work on my career, that's also not going to work. And why is that? It's because those 2 people are not validating each other, which is why women cannot stand men.
Do you know what the new definition of misogyny is? It's anything that hurts a woman's feelings. When people get used to preferential treatment, equal treatment seems like discrimination. Most women hate accountability and think men holding them accountable is toxic and unfair. Men live with accountability all day, every day from each other. We know it's a superpower.
To the women out there who like to duck and dodge accountability like the plague, it's time to step up, look at yourself in the mirror, and admit when you're wrong. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. But the difference between growth and stagnation lies in your ability to take accountability.
No women, no peace. Women believe that unconditional validation and acceptance, no matter what they do, is unconditional love. Women hate being responsible for their actions. It's a literal temper tantrum when you hold them accountable. When the cash and prizes end, so does their connection to you. Women really don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. Even if you do your best to make them happy, they can ghost you as fast as flicking off a light switch when they get bored with you or find another. If you really want true affection and loyalty, then get a dog.
Because Americans, a lot of them don't understand it. Israel, it's super feminist, but it's also super chauvinist. And I'll explain. If I'm a woman going to the army and I'm married or dating my boyfriend, I can go to the army, shoot people, whatever job I have in the army, but I come home, I cook, I clean, I'll take care of my kids, and in the night I'll take a shower, put my makeup, and be sexy for my men. This is my mentality. This is how we grow up. Here, it's like either you not wearing makeup, you're really super feminist, you kind of hate women, or you super feminine looking and completely different to both sides. For me, it's like exactly the middle ground. You have to be a woman, feminine woman that love men and respect men, right? But in the other hand, you could be feminist, but in a different way. What you guys call feminist, we look at it, it's ridiculous, because feminism here, it's to literally hate men.
I see so much in women that drives me nuts is women who can't apologize.
Oh, accountability.
But they cannot own up at all. Like, they refuse. So much so that a guy that I dated before I met my husband, I remember we had some type of argument, and I said, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have said something that way. And he almost passed out because he was like, no woman in his life had ever said, I'm sorry.
Of course.
And he was like, what the hell?
Of course.
And I was raised like, my parents, my mom and dad raised me to be like, when you do something wrong or you hurt somebody's feelings, and you go back and you apologize. So that was bred into me.
Hey, mama didn't raise no fool.
So but I see women, even my friends will have a fight with their boyfriend or their husband, and I'll have to tell them, listen, you need to apologize because sometimes it's going to be you.
Wish more women would wake up to their responsibility within a relationship. Can't tell you how many times I have witnessed women hop back and forth between being the hero and being the victim the moment responsibility enters the conversation.
Women have a hard time with accountability.
Why do you think that is?
Men have taken up all this space in society as the formidable gender. If we admit that, like, we need you, we lose power. So women are becoming power hungry, can't admit they're wrong, kind of repulsive. And if you admit that you were wrong, there's shame.
They say that accountability is a woman's kryptonite. And it's true. Accountability and responsibility are both. Whenever modern women have to face accountability, they start to lose it. You never hear a woman say, "I'm alone because of my bad decisions and I accept full responsibility for my behavior." Why is that?
You gotta realize, because I've started taking accountability with certain things of how I behave.
Would you say that's common for women to take accountability?
At a certain point in your life, you gotta grow up.
No. That's not what I asked you. I said, do you think women take accountability? Because women like to be wrong and strong. So, I mean, with you being a woman, you knowing women, you know women. Do women take accountability?
I feel like women can.
No. We didn't ask that. We not asking. I don't want to ask you. No,
you asked a simple question.
Yeah.
But do men?
It's a yes or no. What? Yo, it's a yes or no question.
But do men? Do men take accountability?
You can't.
Y'all can't even answer the question.
Time out. It's a yes or no question.
Yes.
That he's asking.
Yes, but there's a but.
There is always a but.
Women love money. Women love money. Women will leave a man they love for a man with money. Hundo.
No, that's not true.
But I never hear a man say, "Oh, her bag's brilliant. Oh, look at her bag." I hear girls say he's got a nice watch, he's got a nice car, he's got a nice this, he's got a nice that. That is because they love money. A man don't care what car you drive. Facts. Do you know? A man will upgrade you. Facts.
That's an interesting point, actually. I've never thought about that. That is
man don't care what handbag you come. You can come with a private handbag. You don't care.
It depends what position the man's in, though, because let me tell you, if the man's getting the bus, he cares that you've got a car. Like, he likes the fact that
But if you haven't, he don't care, though. But if you're both on the bus, if you're both on the bus, she is trying to upgrade her Oyster card to a passenger seat. Hundo, before she even gets a driving test. Big facts, I'm telling you.
Whenever modern women have to take accountability, they start the blame game or become the victims. If you observe with a keen eye, you will also notice this pattern.
So I was talking to a male friend of mine the other day, and he told me that women don't apologize and women can't be held accountable. I began to really think deeply about this idea, and one of the things that came across my mind is in the last 9 months or so of me being in my private practice, I have myself experienced many women, whether they came as a couple or they came by themselves, they very abruptly discontinued their therapy. And I started to reflect and really think, what was going on here? And I noticed that after I had to confront them about something, I had to bring to their attention something they were doing that wasn't contributing to the health of the relationship, they became very defensive and very harsh, and they stopped coming.
Therapy doesn't work. For the majority of men out there, therapy is the end of the relationship.
Women need to understand what a man is putting on the line when he dates, or even more, gets married. Dating is risking going to prison if she falsely accuses him of assault or whatever she wants to come up with, because the law will automatically take the female's side.
Emotional abuse? Yes, but not on Jonah Hill's part, on Sarah Brady's part. For one, posting private texts on the internet, and two, abusing and gaslighting Jonah Hill by making him wrong and bad for his own reasonable request and boundaries in a committed relationship. This is another example of women in the spotlight, like Sarah Brady, like Amber Heard, taking advantage of the Me Too movement and the acceptance of misandry, the contempt and hate for men in our current modern day feminist culture. Simply because as women, we don't want to take accountability or responsibility for our own behaviors and actions and change.
Marriage is just as bad as the divorce court will destroy a man and give her the children, half of what he has spent his life working for, and take a large percentage of his income for many years. Men, being logical, will figure out that women are just not worth the risk of all they can lose.
Whether she gave you the finger or not, then maybe you should have gotten out of her way. Yeah, I know. I'm old and I'm kind of slow. So that means that you get to tell her she's rude? Well, she's rude. But she's not rude. She's only 7. Well, I thought she was being rude. But were you in her way? Probably. So don't you think that maybe you don't own the store just because you're driving a cart? I think that you think all this is funny, and it's not funny, sir. Well, I'm her elder, and she needs to show me a little respect. Well, maybe you need to not think that you own the store because you're driving a cart.
First of all, that poor man deserves better. He deserves respect. And second of all, you wonder why girls grow up to be women that cannot take accountability? This is why. It's because mom is standing there taking away any ability to learn accountability.
How can a woman be soft in a relationship with you when you are emotionally unavailable? You are rough, angry, dismissive. She has to be hard in a relationship with you. There's no trust.
The real question is, why are we as women entertaining men like this? It has become socially acceptable for women to adapt a victim mentality. It removes the moment of introspection where you sit and think, hey, maybe I'm the problem here.
Isn't it funny that when you look into the relationships that modern women claim were toxic, you find that all the toxic things they saw in the relationship were that men had traditional views of not just women, but in what a relationship should be. They chase the chads and get their hearts broken. It's not like they can't get a man, but ignore the countless number of good men.
It's never our fault when things go wrong, and that's something that I see a lot when women talk about different aspects of life. If you pick shitty guys, it's never your fault. If you go into too much student debt, it's never your fault, right? If you don't negotiate well when you're trying to get a job, it's never your fault. And that really hurts women because it doesn't actually empower us to take any sort of agency over our own lives and actually make decisions and be responsible for our own actions. But men have to do that because if they do not, they are not attractive partners. And that's really an unfair standard that our society has, particularly in the US. I think that that's a real problem.
Welcome to a man's world. I have no empathy for all these women who tell the world about their feelings. It's just for attention and validation. Brothers don't fall for the fake tears. Watch and learn from these women.
Men need peace. It's honestly that simple. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are, how much money you make, how good you are at your job. It doesn't matter. If you are not a peaceful woman, men need peace because the constant nagging, belittling, being disrespectful, and just being a downright horrible human being, that man is not going to want to stay. Because at the end of the day, what they want is peace within them. Yes, women need emotional stability, but men do too. And that comes from within us. We need to be peace for our men. People overcomplicate it. And it's really, really not complicated.
Many men these days just don't care about female tears anymore. Not every female is trying to hold out for rich Chad, but many of them are. The normal guy working his 40k job is completely invisible to modern women. The girl in the car crying is an average chick who could have had a regular dude. Any woman talking about a toxic ex is a walking red flag. She chose him and stayed with him through all the toxicity.
Modern women hate accountability so much that they cheered when Kevin Samuels passed away. That's how much that they hate accountability by and large. But here's the thing is that because they are the product of the society that they are raised in, and a lot of them are just hive minds, then I can't really be mad at them at the end of the day. Because if you've been lied to consistently throughout your life or fed the propaganda that sells a product to you, and you believe that because it benefits you, then can I really be mad at you that you fed into the propaganda? There's examples all throughout history where propaganda has led to some of the most major calamities throughout our history and our civilization because people just believed in something unwittingly and unknowingly without questioning it.
But do you guys think that the phrase is... Actually, go ahead, Maggie. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and to your point, MTR.
Imagine living in a society where everything is in your favor, and imagine being that woman crying buckets. While that very society gives you everything you need, and there is a line of simps a mile long willing to give you everything, and you still fail. Seriously, everything, because of politicians, is overwhelmingly in their favor, and they still cry because they fail.
Why should men believe that women will submit in a relationship if they won't even submit in an argument?
Because in an argument, you're not really thinking clearly, I guess.
Right. Like us as women, we react off of emotions. So sometimes we do say things that we just truly don't mean. Yeah. So
a lot of the times when a woman doesn't want to feel like she's wrong, she'll say something to play against a man, or she'll try to change it up because she knows she's wrong. Like, she won't admit to like her issues, her problems. So how are you supposed to fix a relationship? A man should not be expected to submit to a woman who can't even take a wrong in an argument.
It's a sad state of affairs for women because they have lied themselves into a lonely existence. When men are fighting to get into a relationship that lasts, women are fighting to make sure they don't have a husband at the end of the day. So really what's going on with women is justified by their own actions. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.